kind of things going on in this studio. But anyway, it's time for our first conversation this Tuesday, and being Health Tuesday, we definitely want to divulge to matters mental health, and also being Men's Mental Health Month. That is what is going to be our focus of discussion this morning. Just trying to break down how and why men are prone to mental illness. My guest this morning is George Omollo, who is a psychologist at Chiromo Hospital Group. Good morning, George.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Easy, relaxed now?
Very.
Awesome. Before we go to the whole aspect of trying to understand, the mental illness, especially surrounding men, how about you begin with this story, which is on the papers this morning, on the PD and also on the Daily Nation. I believe it's also cuts across different papers. This is the story of the young woman, depressed Nairobi doctor takes on life at parking. I mean, just while we're having this conversation before we came on air, we were saying the way she was in a prestigious university, driving her own car. She was a doctor, a pediatrician. So what really could drive someone of such a caliber to doing such kind of a thing?
Yeah, there are a number of questions that would come in your mind, and you'll keep on asking yourself, like, she's having a good job, kinda, and then she's doing a good course, but again in a prestigious university. But what are these things that maybe she could have been going through? And this is an individual that could have been tagged as a person who is strong, a person who is mentally stable, mentally fit, a person who has made it. Yeah, that's a good term. And then she's coming to a point and she's feeling like, maybe I'm not ready, like, to share out what I'm going through. And if I'm going to share it out, so who is going to listen to me? And yet I'm the person to help out. And people will say that even doctors are never breaking down, because we need them. And if a doctor is breaking down, so who is going to help us? So this is an individual that maybe in one way or the other she could have gone through some stigma, and she was feeling like, maybe I'm not comfortable kind of sharing about myself, speaking out what I'm going through. And it could be a society or a culture that she's been growing up in. Maybe she's come to a point where it's never about a person that is well exposed in a position like that, just to speak out and say that, hey, mimi napitia changamoto, mimi napitia 1, 2, and 3. It's about kufunguka. She was not able to open up. And basically that is what now we are urging each and every person to do. That if at all you're going through a situation that it's hard for you to handle, and it's weighing you mentally, why can't we just open up, speak out,
and talk about it?
And we'll
be coming to that just in a short while, because you can talk about it's better to speak out and funguka and open up, but not everyone can be that kind of space. But let's go back to our center of conversation this morning, which is just trying to find out the issue concerning mental illness, specifically about men. And let's start with June being Men's Mental Health Month. As a man, what's the significance of just having a whole month dedicated to men's mental health?
Wow. I would say from 1st June to the last day of June, actually men should be seen everywhere, like, hey, these are strong beings. Like, we are going to speak out what we are going through. Did you know that men rarely share their issues? Why? Because of the masculinity thing. People will tend to feel like, if George is going to share out his issues, that, hey, I'm breaking down, I'm not doing well, people will feel that, hey, this man is weak. And society again makes it more hard again, that in your position you cannot even speak out what you're going through. And so it's like the ladies are looking into us, and they're feeling like, you see, these are people that needs to be hardened enough, right?
Strong enough.
They need to be strong enough. And that's why I brought it earlier when I was telling you, ni wakati wa kufunguka. Like, tufunguke. Let's open up and speak it, that, okay, I'm not going to break down alone. I think I will need to wish and share 1, 2, and 3 with another person who might be going through this. But again, do you know that men don't share out their things easily? And men will never cry easily. They only cry when it is raining, so that you will not see our tears coming down.
Boys don't cry.
Okay. Maybe boys cry, but men don't cry. Men don't cry. Okay. But why? Why are we saying so? We've been nurtured that way, that whenever a woman is going to see tears rolling down your cheeks, and they'll feel like, okay, this is a weaker man. but mental health does not understand the concept of being weak.
And some would even cry in front. They would perhaps want to break down, and they will just leave you there.
Exactly.
Because they do not want you to see them breaking down. And there's nothing wrong with breaking down.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with breaking down. And you see, when now we've been taught that we don't need to break down now, this is a situation where somebody will start struggling with stress and depression, anxiety, and by the end of the day, only to realize that there's some mental health illness that are coming up, and you cannot be able to understand what you're going through.
Yeah.
And the next thing that will be happening, you'll be hearing to some news that like what had been you had discussed in the newspapers, that this person committed suicide, that this person did 1, 2, and 3, and you cannot be able to understand because you've been seeing this person driving a Porsche car, you've been seeing this person having a good family, and a family that you can admire everything that is doing and a good job. But then you'll come and listen to some news that, hey, George committed suicide.
And you wonder how, when we were here having a conversation the other time or something of the
and
sort.
that's it.
All right. Now let's talk about the stereotypes surrounding men. Aside from the issue that, or the thought that men don't cry, which other stereotypes surrounds men, and how is it of negative impact?
Oh wow, that's nice. Every society has got different stereotypes about men. One, I will say that men are being seen on the masculinity side, that these are the individual that needs to give us shoulder to lean on, or rather shoulder to cry on. Like, these are the people that needs to extend their hands for us to wipe our tears. Like, okay, maybe ladies will say that.
Yes.
And so we are looking into them and we are feeling like, hey, if I'm going to see a man crying, then nitakuwa naona nini?
Which shoulder will I cry on?
Which shoulder am I going to cry on when I want to cry? Mwanaume kijidume analia kivipi? Inaanza lini? And so it becomes so hard. And then men, we have come to a point at some times we usually feel like even going and speaking out what I'm going through with another man, it's an issue altogether. Why? Because I look at that man and I'll feel like, if I'm going to share out what I'm going through, atanichukulia aje. Not like ladies. A lady will just pull you kwambie mimi na niko na hii changamoto, tafadhali usiponisaidia leo, believe me you, hakuna mtu mwenye atanisaidia. But men, no, they're just going to sit on that landmine. Let me call it, they are going to sit on that grenade. Watalipuka hapo na wako sawa.
And expect something to happen.
Because community has made them to feel like, no, we cannot talk. If you are going to talk, who is going to listen to us?
Yeah.
But those are just the things that people have just made up their minds to that. Yeah, the stereotypes that you need not to speak on what you're going through. What are we going to do?
Kind of way to look at it.
Exactly.
Okay. Then perhaps what needs to be done to not have those kind of thinking or stereotypes, because I mean, at the end of the day, as much as talk about how men may need to be strong and all of that, they're still human beings.
Exactly.
They still have emotions, they still have feelings. It does not negate any fact of someone could have a feeling, could have an emotion, they could be down,
What we need to do, but before we go to what we need to do, I'll go back to your point.
Okay.
We men, we have emotions, right?
Yeah.
And anything that comes to your emotions make you to react in another way or the other. And so we will not say that we are beings that are dead emotionally. Anything that hits your emotion, it's what triggers your mental health as well. What is it that needs to be done? One, as men, we need to accept that we are vulnerable beings, which is okay. And we have to accept that at some point we can break down. Not that we are needed to be there every time feeling like George is strong, George is okay. We need to accept that we can break down. And once you have accepted that, now we need to look into it and say, we want to normalize the mental health. So that a person who is seeing George stressed up is not going to say that, hey, naona kama huyu George anakuwa cheesy. So that we normalize the whole aspect of mental health, that you can easily reach out to a therapist, you can easily
and don't
reach
feel
out
shy
to
about it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So you make a person feel like, I'm bold and I accept myself that this, if I cannot handle it alone, what is it that I'm going to do? I'll walk to a facility. I'm going to reach out to somebody. I'm going to reach out to a therapist. We are going to talk our issues. But in rare occasions, will you listen to men like just sit down and just sharing some tough heart issues, kind of
what either
heart
of
to
them
heart
is
issues.
going
It's either I'm thinking of getting this new car. I'm thinking of building this new apartment. I'm thinking of doing 1, 2, and 3. It's like the economic development. But what is it that ladies will be sharing on the other end?
Manze kuna hii deni imekaa tu.
And
issue come up kwa kichwa. And you see at that point, you're not even close to this person, but it becomes so easier to talk to them.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's, okay, you know, wow, well said. You need to actually speak up.
Yeah.
All right, now let's come to the issue of culture, because also from your conversation, from what you're saying, rather, I'm picking a lot of community, where we stay, you know, maybe it's a culture and all of that, because also the stereotypes are formed from the different cultures that we come from. What exactly is the place of culture when it comes to men's mental illness or health as a whole?
Wow, that's very deep. The place of culture. I will talk from African perspective.
Because we are Africans.
Actually, I'm not African. I'm a true African.
Not just an African.
Yes.
Okay.
A true African. Talking from African culture, our culture has made us men to feel like it's us the reference point. Yeah. That small kid, if the neighbor is going to beat this kid, what is it that this kid is going to say? Naenda kukushtaki kwa daddy. And they're feeling like this daddy man is a person who is strong and he can solve almost everything. So culture has made us to feel like we just need to be strong. We just need to be people that we can handle anything that comes in. And you know what? That place of culture is what makes men even to be more vulnerable.
Okay.
Yeah.
How so?
It is because anytime we want to make culture to be a reference to whatever things that we are going to, we are going through, then you will find that a man will not be comfortable to share out, or rather to express what he's going through. Let me give you an example. I'm trying to imagine this man that is struggling with some issues at home, like let me call it quotes in quotes domestic violence, and this is a man that would say that you see there are men that wanaweza kuwa wanapigwa pale nyumbani, but again now the person beating them is the one screaming, so feel like the one screaming ndio ni mwenye anapigwa. So this man cannot be able like to share it out. Try to imagine if you're going to share it out to some friends pale mtaani, and they'll be like, kwani wewe unapigwa na mwanamke?
Aje sasa.
Inakuaje? How do you think that man will handle that thing? He'll be silent on that issue, never speaking it out. What is it that is going to happen? Depression itakuwa inaingia pale. Sasa even this lady that I'm having in this house, how is she going to help me? What about my children? Am I going to be helpful? Am I going to be relevant to my kids in this house? And if I'm not going to be relevant to my kids in this house, what is it that I'm going to do by the end of the day as a man? So culture again, it comes in a negative way to zip their mouth. Like wewe nyamaza tu with what you're going through. Nyamaza na unyamaze tu kimya tu. And that's why now we are turning culture upside down, and we are saying that yes, we accept that it's mental health month, right? Lakini tufunguke. Yes, wanaume tufunguke. We are not going to cry when it is raining. We just want to cry openly. Just nisaidie tu na shoulder yako tunililie tu kidogo tu. We are not going to wait for that rain. What if you are going to go to a place that it's never raining all through the year? Tutaliaje? Are we going to cry in the bathroom, and yet some of us do not have showers? Itakuwaje? So we want to do it like openly. Feel us. And that's the thing.
Right. Now, again, we had that convo a bit off air in regards to this men's mental health month. And I was just telling you of some statistics that I read, whereby the month began in 1992, and up till now, statistics still show that 70% of suicide cases still it's men. And I was telling you of how in my head I'm just thinking, this is like 20 plus years. Why do men still form a bigger percentage of suicide cases regardless? What could be the reason?
I'd shared it earlier. Men, let's not say men, but let's start it from what you said about 1992 to this time, and it could be approximately 29 years down the line, right? Yeah. And men are still leading in that percentage.
Yes.
I would wish you understand that about mental health issues, everything falls on an equal platform. But now, the other gender now, women tend to express themselves easily, and they can speak out what they are going through. Actually, they've been nurtured that way.
To speak.
Yeah, because women, I would say, I love them so much because they are talking beings. They can speak their minds openly. But as men, we have like let me call it a farmer stand where we are not exposed to like talking things any hourly easily, and this makes them to reach to a point even when they are breaking down, they are not going to speak it out at whatever case, and that is what will explain why the suicide rate tends to be so higher on the men's side than on the female side. Why? That is the stand. And if you are going to speak it out, what is it that is going to happen?
Utanichukulia aje.
Utanichukulia aje. But this time around, we've decided that we're going to speak out. So.
Okay. You're going to speak out.
Yes.
Again, also let's talk a bit about the men under the age of 44.
Yeah.
Still, they will say men under that age still forms those that would have depression or even commit suicide still fall under that age bracket.
Yeah.
What is so significant about men under the age of 44 that they still have to form a bigger chunk of either those that would suffer depression, anxiety, and altogether go ahead and commit suicide?
Wow. Nice one. Have you ever heard this statement about life begins at 40?
Yes, they would say for women it's like at 30 or something.
And life begins at 40. So if you're not yet there, basically you're kind of trying to do your jogging, exercise, and everything, so that by the time you're reaching 40, actually you're so well equipped. So we tend to look into it that we want to invest so much that when we are reaching 40 now, we want to start enjoying the things that we've done. The things that we did made to put in place.
You worked for?
The things that you worked for. That's a good term. So now we are reaching this 40 plus, the 44 now coming down, and we have the expectations, right? The unmet expectations. Remember, you've tried looking for a job, you've tried looking for working things to help you gain some living and everything. But then you're coming to this age and you're realizing that, hey, I'm not yet there. What is it that is going to happen? And when I'm coming to realize that I'm not yet there, then let me look into what my friends are doing. And I'll start mentioning some of my friends. This person is now working with this company. This person is now owning this company. This person is the CEO. This individual is this and this and this and this. And you want to compare yourself with those people. What is it that is going to happen?
Very quickly think, why am I not moving? Why am I not making moves?
Why am I not making a move? Why? Kwani mimi tu ndio nimestationiwa hapo? What is it that is going to happen?
What's so different with me?
You'll start feeling useless, and you'll start feeling like I'm not at par with my age mates. I think I'm a nuisance. I think I'm a loser, and there's nobody who is just going to be there for me to... Okay, there is never some manna that is going to come from heaven, alafu itakuangukia hapo chini, or some millions that will come, and then you'll start developing yourself like...
Very quickly.
Yeah,
so
it's
again,
never that way.
There are just so many issues surrounding also, you know, those kind of statistics. Now, George, as we finish up, I would just like to read one comment. This is from Kevin, who says that men are willing to talk in relation to mental health. However, few are willing to listen to them. Quickly, your reactions on that. So it's not a question of a I don't want to talk, talk, open up to funguke, but he says that few are willing to listen to men. Quick reactions on that.
Why are few are willing to listen to men? Men, by the time they are talking the deeper things in their hearts, even the person who is ready and willing to listen to them will have already given up. Men need time. They need time.
To just understand?
In short, Kevin is saying, I'm not going to go to that therapist and say that, hey, I'm struggling with mental health issues, I'm struggling with stress and everything. No. Because they'll start like watachapaka around EV, they'll rotate and rotate and rotate, and by the time they're bringing this issue, even this therapist will have come to a point and he will be like, so what's the challenge?
Wow.
That's what Kevin is saying there.
I mean, it's a lot. I feel like we should get more time to have this conversation. Okay. But again, altogether, thank you so much for your time. At least demystifying some of the issues, stereotypes surrounding, and maybe what more or what we need to do, at least to move from that kind of bracket and reduce the percentages and the numbers. Thank you so much, George.
Wow.
That has been George Omollo, my guest this morning, who's a psychologist at Chiromo Hospital Group, just talking to us about men's mental health. But the show is not yet done. We still have plenty more on the other side. Stay with us.